It's November 3rd, 2020. This is our lecture on project management. And today we're going to talk about agile project management. A little bit of theory and something called Scrum. Just so that you know, this word comes from rugby. It's the formation that players take when the game starts. They cross their arms and they form a group, a very compact group of players that fight for the ball. Agile project management has a lot to do with continuous improvement. Other called Kaizen in Japanese, comes from Japan. This philosophy is also called Kaizen. Kai and Kai means continuous and Zen means improvement. Okay, so what is agile? First question. Agile as a concept is, in this context, is a project management method that uses short development cycles called sprints to focus on continuous improvement in the project service or product. So this is a definition. In 2001, Google brings out the Agile Manifesto. Okay, Google uses this sort of project management approach, in which the 12 principles, 12 keys or principles of agile project management are listed. 12 keys or 12 principles of agile project management. And we're going to go through these 12 keys one by one. The first one is called customer satisfaction. Okay. This is always the highest priority. achieved through rapid and continuous value delivery. This means the highest priority in agile project management is to reduce lead time. In Deutsch, Durchlaufzeit. Okay, customer satisfaction is achieved through rapid and continuous value delivery. We have seen already that a process tries to meet customer demand. This is the customer demand. This is like a heartbeat of a customer. And we have a supply. That tries to keep up. So we want our supply to be equal as the demand. Okay. This is called takt time. Those are concepts that you should know already. But just repeat them. We want customer satisfaction by reducing lead time. Questions? Questions? Okay. And then we go to the second principle. Second key is flexibility. Changing environments and or conditions are welcome and embraced at any stage of the process, product, or service to provide the customer with a competitive advantage. So we don't mind if the weather changes, if it's sunny or cloudy. We don't care because we're prepared for it. This is an important lecture of it, an important takeaway from this approach, because changes are seen as an opportunity to increase value for the customer. So if I am flexible to changes, maybe our competition will not be, and this will give me a competitive advantage when when delivering value for a customer. So changes are seen as opportunity. If I am able to react to change better than my competition, then I will win in the marketplace. Flexibility, and here we want to reduce the lead time. Are there questions so far? If you have any questions, just interrupt, okay? Just unmute your microphone and ask. So, number 3. Is the frequency of delivery. Which is measured with one KPI called habil, every part, every interval. Which we will learn next week. This is a measure of flexibility in delivery. As I said, we will learn it next week. And we want a process or service to be delivered with high frequency. When we have an habil, just as an appetizer, as I said, we will see this next week. When we have an habil of 1 week, we can deliver all the parts, all the services in our portfolio every week. A, B, C, D. So every week we can meet every week we meet weekly demand, which is okay. But imagine that we transform our process so that we can not only meet every week our weekly demand, but we can meet every day. If I 1 day, we can meet every day our daily demand. A, B, C, D, and then we repeat this every day. A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. So every day we meet daily demand with an habil 1 day. On the process on the left here with weekly habil, if something happens, let's say on Wednesday in the middle of the week, then and our machine gets broken, then all the parts that are to be delivered or produced after Wednesday will not be delivered. So customer C and customer D will not be supplied. However, if something happens on Wednesday on the second process, in which I have a daily EPI, okay, with daily demand resolution, then if something happens on Wednesday, of course, the rest of the week I will not be able to produce, but I have already produced some of the products for C and for D, and I am more flexible. The customer gets at least something and does not go empty. What it means is that the smaller the EPI, the better for our flexibility, and we want EPI, as a result, we want EPI to go down. This is our goal when we talk about frequency of delivery and flexibility in the delivery. We will learn next week how to calculate this with real numbers, but just so that you get an appetizer. Questions? Questions? Good. And then we continue with number 4. Stakeholders and project members collaborate closely on a daily basis. Collaboration, teamwork. Okay. So now we start to see what we talk about when we talk about networks and the whole theory of transmission of information, network structure, the average path length, and so on and so forth. Crucial for the success of the project is that people have trust to each other and collaborate. Regardless of their position or regardless of their it's not so much a hierarchical approach to project management, but rather a collaborative approach to organizational configurations. Okay, so here we talk about networks and network dynamics. As we have seen in the last lecture last week. Any questions? Okay. Next, number 5. We need leadership framework. This means that all stakeholders and team members motivated for optimal project outcomes while teams are provided with all necessary tools and support are trusted to accomplish project goals. I think you might recall what we have seen a couple weeks ago about this model of individuals being trustworthy at the relational level, relations. We need trust as a manager. Management is looking for empowerment, and an organization is looking for alignment or common direction. Okay, so this is basically one of the many leadership frameworks that is needed for successful project management. Any questions? This model we have seen already. Right, number 6. Remember we have 12, so we are in the middle. Face-to-face. Meetings are considered the most effective and efficient format for success. Always remember that face-to-face is better than telephone and this is better than email. Whenever you can, just do not use your email to transmit important information. Emails and written communication can be very well misunderstood, and it's not very good if you want to transmit important, if you want to move a team. The best thing you can do is visit them. If you cannot visit them, call. Okay? So face-to-face communication, whether electronic or real, is better than telephone, and telephone is better than email. Email is the worst and should always be avoided. And I know you will think, oh, well, an email can be sent to, it's so fast, it can be sent to many people at one time. I don't need to spend a lot of time explaining. I just can write some words. And an email will cost you a lot more money because you might lose trust in your team than any other thing. So at the end of the day, it's way more costly to use written communication. So whenever you can avoid it, avoid email. And use real, direct, straight communication. And also one thing important maybe for young people to know, never talk about somebody that is not in the room. Okay? This also goes for your private life. Do never talk about somebody who is not in the room and can listen and defend. Okay? This is something that you will catch yourself doing probably. Do not, just don't do it. Do not talk about anybody that is not in the room. It will pay off on the long run. Number 7, success, SUCCESS. Means that the product works for the customer. Which means that a final working product is all that matters. Rate is sustainability. Sustainable development is accomplished through agile processes, whereby development teams and stakeholders are able to maintain a constant and ongoing pace. So maintain a constant and ongoing pace means that the speed is a constant speed. That I don't need to accelerate the first derivative of the project to time is a constant. Meaning that the second derivative of the project with time is 0. Okay, if I accelerate and then need to break down and then accelerate again, I will tire my people. So, in Deutsch, Beschleunigungen und Entschleunigungen sind schlecht. Ich suche eine konstante Geschwindigkeit in meinem Projekt. Ansonsten mache ich die Leute kaputt. If I ask my people to work on a Saturday and Sunday, and then I send them home for 2 days, and then they work their ass again, 24 hours the next couple, 3 days, and so on and so forth, then I will break them. Okay, so you can break people by accelerating and breaking your speed, and it's not very advisable. So then number 9, we need to focus on excellence and design. Focus on excellence and design. And here there are a couple definitions for excellence, and everybody knows maybe intuitively what is excellence. I tell you what excellence is. Excellence is the next 5 minutes. So excellence is now. It's your behavior now. It's your next email, your next call, your next greeting to a coworker. The next 5 minutes is what makes you. Okay. Everybody is fighting a very hard fight with him or herself within. So the best strategy is just to be nice. Okay. And excellence is politeness in the next 5 minutes. Excellence means respect in the next 5 minutes. Whatever you think it's important for good communication, do it now. Don't wait till later. It is not an idea, it's what you do in the next 5 minutes. So I hope you get the concept. Design is also, I mean, there's a lot of theory on marketing, and you know a lot of it by now, but I like to understand design to make things pretty, okay, for the eye. So excellence in design could be something like, in a pictogram could be something like this, okay, the next 5 minutes. And of course, this is rolling, okay, all the time, plus making things look pretty, so that it is easy to learn, so that, well, this is, for instance, the reason why I try to, I take some extra time to draw with colors and try to make it appealing for the eye to look on my script, because I believe, I'm convinced that if I do it, you will learn easier, okay? And my goal will be that achieve better, because you have understood the concepts. So excellence is the next 5 minutes. This means that the consequence of this is that you need to be constantly under self-control. You need to be watching yourself all the time, what you do. Otherwise, you might be losing control of your own fate, and you might not be showing excellence. Okay. Number 10. Is simplicity. So if you can make it simple, why do it complicated? Okay, just so keep it simple. Sister, probably you know this. Kiss. Okay. Never forgetting it. Number 11, by now you should know a little bit about this. We're looking for self-organizing networks. And for that, we want to reduce the average path length and increase the clustering coefficient. In other words, we're looking for scale-free configurations with an average path length that is proportional to the logarithms of the logarithms of n, and this delivers best results. Okay? Any questions so far? No questions? Okay. Continue. Number 12 is that we're looking for regular intervals of communication some people call this shop floor or process management. Okay, and are used regular intervals of communication, software process management. It's used to drive improvement and efficiency. Shop floor management, shop floor or process management is a way to integrate in hierarchical networks the regular improvement cycles that we have seen in the past. So we integrate CPDNA and DCPNA with networks. And this is called Ocean and Forest. We will see this in the next weeks. So remember, we create trees or tree-like structures, hierarchical network structures that resemble a tree, and this means that we are able to perform better shop floor management. We'll see this in a couple of weeks. So, any questions so far? Okay, 10-minute break. Continue then with our concept. By creating a framework or a roadmap for agile project management. that integrates these concepts. So the first thing we need is to create a Scrum. The Scrum is the team, okay? With a low average path length and high clustering coefficient. Something like a very tight network that communicates to each other, just like the rugby players with their arms put all together, that are focused on the goal. Okay. So our agile team is constantly focused on the goal and presents a network structure that is very tight. Okay. So the first thing you do is you create your Scrum. Once you have created your Scrum, you go and you create a project backlog. This means you put, as we have seen before already, okay, so you put a list of certain set of activities that need to be done. So basically you get your goal. The goal is broken into parts, and this is your backlog. These are things that need to get done in order to achieve your goal. This is your project backlog. Once you have it, you put your activities into a time frame. We have learned this is called Gantt diagram. The way to do it is just to put your activities like this. This rosa sub-goals that we have put are transformed into a diagram. I don't know how to represent it, but I guess you get my point. So all these actions are put into a time frame. Okay? Make sense so far? Once you have your time frame, then you get into something called sprint backlog. And this is what we already said, we mentioned before when we talk about our DCPNA. What you do is you look for places in your project timeline in which you're late. Okay, you look for back spikes. And because you're late, here and here you get a red, say a red marker, and then you are advised to get those things better. Sprint backlog. Once you have identified the back spikes, you get into something called iteration loop. Which is a 2 to 4 week sprint cycle. Basically, what you do is you do your DCP in the DCPNA cycle. Here you have to do your D, and here you do your C and P. You check, and then you plan what you're going to do the next. This is integrated, these two elements, number 4, number 5, integrate what is called the shop floor management, and this is what we will later be calling machine gunnery forest, just in a couple of weeks. Once you've gotten better, you standardize and get the products out. So in the DCPNA, this is the A. Okay. And this is something you might be saying, well, this is the same concept as DCPNA. Well, it is. All these concepts are related. This just has one previous focus on this Scrum, okay, the team building, and has certain set of characteristics which I have not explained before. That's why I think we are adding value. After that, you can be sure to deliver your product and make sure you have achieved all your backlogged goals. So your backlog goals become your product. And you can put a tick on all of them. Okay, so this is basically what we try to do. With all the loops, it's to get the backlogs transformed into products, to basically achieve your goals. Goal is achieved when the customer gets a working product or service. Okay? Any questions? Any questions, please? Good. Well then, I will upload the video as usual on profh4.com. and you will get a PDF in a couple minutes with information attached. Next week we will look into the EPI, and in 2 weeks we will look about the Hoshikane forest. Hope you have a nice week, enjoy, and stay safe. Bye-bye.